Hi, everyone, and welcome back to your weekly installment of the Top 10. These are the hottest selling cards in Magic the Gathering this week, November 16th to the 23rd of 2024. Now, the sales action's about to begin, and you've waited all week just to find out what the hottest selling cards were. Well, let's get this video started. The waiting is about to end. Hi everyone and welcome back. MTG Moxman here, and thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. A reminder, if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, as I have new content every single day of the week. And if you're getting ready for a shopping experience, don't forget to use my TCG player affiliate link found in the description of this video. Now let's take a look at what's happening this week. Today's video is sponsored by Kakapopo TCG. Now, of course, you guys know I love the Kraken box, but for the mini mox, he says with all the dragons coming in the upcoming set Tarkir, we got to get the dragon. You got to be looking at this product. So don't forget, guys, the links are found inside this video, but hey, it's a pretty good product. So let's take a look at the number 10 card this week, and it is Bloodthirsty Conqueror from Foundations. This card continues to have pretty strong sales. At 812 sales this week at an average price of $28.99, that's still $25,539.88. And of course, these are all near mint copies selling, but the sales are a lot lower than last week. Now, when we look at this card, you recognize that 5 casting cost, but it's what this card can do. Forget the flying and death touch. It's great, but it's not needed. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. Well, there's a few trigger cards for this that are seeing a lot of play on Arena, and that's that marauding guy who comes into play, and whenever he deals damage, you gain life, and then this guy gives you life, and it kind of ricochets back and forth until you're just dead. So, great card. Now, number 9. Doubling Season from Foundations is kind of a surprise on the list this week. I didn't expect it to be here, but here we are talking about it. 823 sales equals $23,044 of total sales volume. Now, this is an interesting card for many reasons. The price has dipped a couple of bucks, and a lot of players are taking an interest in it, but the fact it's going to be around for so long means that this price is actually probably going to stabilize at 25 bucks, and that's still a pretty hefty price tag. Now, as a single green and 4 other enchantment, it says, if an effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many tokens instead. If an effect would put 1 or more counters on a permanent you control, it puts twice as many counters. You can see how this card is really going to be one of those cards people are going to try to make work, and that's not just going to happen with Foundations, but it's going to happen with a lot of other upcoming sets in the next couple of years. Pay attention, there's going to be synergy for this card, and the value is going to hold. Now, for our number 8 card this week, we're still talking about the Scrawling Crawler. And this is one of those cards that's really kind of fallen off the radar. A lot of value has been lost, but there's still 903 sales this week, which is $2,456.16, because this card's only $2.72. Now, we do have to take a look at what this card does. It is a Howling Mine type effect from back in the day where you get to draw cards, but you're drawing cards with a twist. It's a 3 casting cost artifact creature. It's a Phyrexian construct, but it says at the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player loses a life. Now, that can work in all kinds of ways because opponents are going to draw more than one card. They probably have some kind of card draw in their deck, so this is going to hurt them a lot more than people realize. Now, I haven't faced off against this too much in Arena, and I haven't faced it at all in my local card shop yet, but I can see how a card like this is going to come around because not only can it do all of that and a bag of chips, it's still a 3/2 creature that can pound on your opponent. So it's one of those cards you should probably keep in mind for the future just in case you come up against it. Now, our next card is from Duskmorn, and the Screaming Nemesis I did not expect to see here. It's $31.11 per copy. That's 919 sales. That's $28,590.09. Now, what makes this one a little more interesting is the price is actually ticking upward, and we're still seeing strong sales momentum as players get this card. This is a single red and 2 other. It is a 3/3 with haste. It is a creature. It is a spirit. A lot of little things going on. But with that haste, it also says whenever Screaming Nemesis is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any other target. If a player is dealt this much damage, that player can't gain life for the rest of the game. You can see why players are seeking this card out. This thing is going to be found in a lot of decks, and that's why we see the price slowly creeping upward. Is this the next $50 card? That's a good question. Is this a Sheoldred level event that just hasn't happened yet? People are starting to talk, so pay attention to this card. Now, our next one kind of falls on the heir apparent side of things. This is Raise the Past, and yes, it's the borderless edition. It's only $1.83. It had 989 sales this week, or $1,809.87 of sales action. And yes, the artwork is really cool. I like it too, especially for less than $2 a copy. That's pretty epic. Now, what does the card do, though? How is this card working with Heir Apparent or any other low casting cost things? Well, yeah, it's a 4 casting cost. And if you're worried about like board wipes, just remember this card. Return all creature cards with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If somebody kills a lot of rabbits and the rabbits don't stay dead, that's a whole bunch of rabbits triggering again. This is a crazy card that works in conjunction with Heir Apparent. And yeah, it's a card to watch out for. And it's not expensive, which is fantastic. All right, guys, let's take a look at our next card this week. And we're still talking former Planeswalker, Kiora, the Rising Tide. This card comes in at $2.74 this week. Now, it had 1,209 sales, which is pretty respectable. But that's only $3,312.66. And then what we're seeing this week is a real drop-off in the overall sales on the market. We see a lot of scaling back right now, and I think that's because players are getting ready for, of course, Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So what does Kiora do? As a 1 blue, 2 other legendary creature Merfolk Noble, when Kiora enters, draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Threshold. Whenever Kiora attacks, if there are 7 more cards in your graveyard, you get to create the Scion of the Deep, an 8/8 blue octopus creature token. Pretty epic card, easy to get, easy to work with. You can see how this is pretty awesome because you can keep bringing it back. I like this card, I like the price tag, and I like the idea of Black Friday deals coming up. Now, for our next one, we're taking a look. Again, you can see here, we've got the Swiftfoot Boots, okay? Now, the Swiftfoot Boots are not a major attraction nowadays. You can see here the Foundation's copy is 1,580 sales. That's $3,618.20. Because it's $2.29 a copy. Pardon my little word thing there. I look at this card and I recognize it's pretty fun to have. It's great to have it in a standard set. As a 2 casting cost artifact equipment that equips 1, equipped creature gets hexproof and haste. That works on a lot of stuff. It's an equipment that's going to stick around and people are going to deal with it, so it's another target for somebody else to worry about. I can see the attraction to this card. I'm just surprised we're seeing it this week as opposed to last week. But either way, strong sales tell you that players are interested in creating and working with this card for the future. Great card. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our next one. Here we have, I keep saying Zool from Ghostbusters, Zool, the Ashur Lich Lord. Okay, 1,608 sales. That's only $1,543.68. I've seen a lot of people try to use this card right now. It's 96 cents. It's less than $1. It's super cheap. Is it worth buying though? Absolutely. I'll tell you right now, for $1 a copy, this is a card people are going to be picking up, and that's why we're seeing strong sales. So what does the Lich here do? This Lich Warlock, Zombie Warlock, whatever you say, has Ward, pay 2 life, but that's not what people care about. You may cast a target zombie creature card from your graveyard this turn. So you get to go and get a card. Don't forget, you can also be using this in conjunction with other ways of bringing things back from your graveyard, like Volroth Stronghold and put on top of your deck. There's lots of ways of casting some crazy combinations with this card. Don't ignore it. It's less than $1. Now, for our next card, we're taking a look and seeing the market at number 2 with Blasphemous Edict. This was number 1 last week. It totally gets knocked down, but there's still a lot of interest. 1,645 sales is still $11,366.95. this card's lost a little bit more value. It's going down the block and it's losing a little bit of fun because it's only at $6.91. It's still a great card, and it does offer a lot for players using black mana, and that's the board wipe ability. 5 casting cost, 2 black, 3 other sorcery. You may pay 1 black rather than pay this spell's casting cost if there are 13 or more creatures on the battlefield. Each player sacrifices 13 creatures of their choice. Now, sacrifice is awesome. They're not going to be protected. It's got to be dealt with. It's a non-targeting effect. It's just each player. Keep this card in mind. If it drops to $5, you're going to see a lot of sales action, guys. A lot. People recognize that this card's going to have play for years to come. It's a board wipe for black, and it's going to stick around. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the number 1 card. A little bit of a surprise, but here we are. This is Boltwave. Now, we talked about this last week. We know a lot of players were buying it. So Boltwave comes in with 2,600 sales even, which is $7,800 of sales action. It's a $3 card, okay? It's an uncommon that's still seeing good, consistent sales, and it does exactly what it needs to do, okay? For a single casting cost of red, and it's a sorcery, not an instant, but a sorcery. Boltwave, which has pretty decent artwork, says it deals 3 damage to each opponent. The fact this hits everyone in Commander already has people's attention. The fact there's other cards that do something similar adds extra attention. And the fact you can use this to hit opponents near the end for a single red and get things like Slick Shot, Sure Shot to go off again, or hit low opponents, you can see why a lot of players would show interest in a card like this and why it's going to have value as an uncommon and continue to have value in the market, because we're probably not going to see another card like this. Get ready for that, because that's likely going to happen. There's a lot going on in the market this week that players need to be aware of. You're here at the end of the video. You saw the top 10 selling cards, and you can see the Foundations has pretty much dominated the market. We have no Bloomburrow showing up, no Assassin's Creed. We have nothing from any of the previous sets this year, and this is where it's going to stay, and the sales are lower. Now, the interesting thing is next week is Black Friday and Cyber Monday. You can expect a lot more sales coming at the end of next week into the weekend as these deals start to appear. And there's a lot of players out there waiting for them and banking on it. It's something that I know players look forward to at the end of the year. They've saved up some money and they're getting ready to spend it. Now, as we see the market sales continue now to decrease, and this is a big kind of section of the market right now where we see the cards just trending downward. As we see the values of cards from Foundation start to find their real footing, where they're actually going to be valued at, you can see things like Doubling Season dropping down to around the $20 mark, at least for a little while, and that's why we're seeing an interest in the card. Bloodthirsty Conqueror, a lot of effects that people like, and that card's going to drop a couple of bucks, I would expect, but there's a lot of uncommons we are still going to see gaining value. Things like the Lich going up to $1.50 doesn't seem unreasonable, but it's such an inexpensive card right now. But its ability to tap and bring things back is something you should not forget about, because it's going to see play not just in Foundations, but it's going to see play in Commander as well. So I'll be curious to see what people do with that card over the next few months as it becomes more exposed and utilized by players. Either way, the market's trending down right now. A lot of prices are dropping off, which is fantastic. We're seeing even a lowering on the reserve list right now. Don't be surprised, guys, okay? We'll take a look at the numbers tomorrow. There's a couple of surprises, but nothing big. But it's still going to be interesting to see how this plays out when we get to the end of next week. So thanks again for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by this roundup section of the video. And thanks again for stopping in today. I hope you have a fantastic day. I mean, we got the Santa Claus parade here in Toronto, and I'm going to be there with Mini Mox. I know he's getting older, but we still do it as a family event. And then, of course, I'll see you guys for the reserve list top 10 tomorrow and the live stream, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. I hope you guys can make it out. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy a round of Magic, and I'll see you guys soon. Hey guys, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons of this channel. Because the amazing patrons we have supporting each and every day, daily uploaded content is made possible, and I wouldn't be able to do it without your help. So if you're one of my patrons watching these videos every day, thanks again for that support you share and show with me every day. To everyone else out there, thanks again for being viewers of the channel. To my YouTube membership members, guys, we're going to see you all tomorrow. It's still Kakapopo TCG, you know that, right? We think I was going to drop down the green screen and let you guys see all my amazing cards in the background? No. Today's Kakapopo Day. Guys, they have some pretty cool stuff. All right, you're here at the end. What are you talking about? You're right. What am I doing? This is the end. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. This is my time. This is the Ramble Jamble. What? What did you think? I was going to do that to you? No. The products do look good. I'll be honest. They are pretty cool. A lot of you guys I know have already kind of signed on to the Kickstarter. Pretty awesome. A reminder that I didn't know. I kind of forgot. We do get a 20% kickback on everything people purchase. And I will be putting that toward prizes as well, just so you guys are aware. It's pretty awesome stuff. I like it. I like it. So here at the end, the market sales for overall singles dropped off a cliff. They really went a lot lower than I expected. That also will probably affect reserve list sales tomorrow. They look a lot lower overall. Be aware of this. Black Friday sales are coming up, and we're going to have some crazy numbers because I know a few people already who plan on looking around. And they're not looking for sealed product from 2019 to 2024. They're looking for old boxes, and they've been banking on some good deals. So we're going to wait and see how that all turns out. They're also looking for some power cards. I had a friend who was asking if I knew people with time twisters to sell. I knew some people asking to see if there was power cards like Time Walks around, even collector editions. So I've pointed people in the right directions. We'll see how this all plays out. But this week's sales are going to be low because next week it's going to be a big boatload, I think. So either way, thanks again for hanging out for the Ramble Jamble. Thanks for being there, guys. It's awesome. And I will see you guys tomorrow. This is going to be wicked. And don't forget, we have the live stream tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be there. I hope you guys are too.